In Nigeria, violence has forced more than 1 million children out of school. According to UNICEF, this staggering number adds to the estimated 11 million children of primary school age who are already out of school in Nigeria, Cameroon, Chad and Niger. And it's not just children who are suffering. Teachers are now also targets. In Nigeria alone, approximately 600 teachers have been killed since the start of the Boko Haram insurgency. Fear of violence and attacks is also preventing many teachers from resuming classes and discouraging parents from sending their children to school. Together with governments, NGOs and other partners, UNICEF has set up temporary learning spaces and renovated and expanded schools, but more funding is still needed. UNICEF says it will need $23 million in 2016 to provide access to education in the region, helping vulnerable children find sanctuary in learning and protecting them from violence. The UN is deeply concerned by the escalation of ground fighting and airstrikes in Syria and their impact on civilians.
For nearly 5 years, we have watched as Syria sank deeper and deeper into violence and brutality. And yet, no words can do justice to the despair and devastation that millions of Syrians experience every day.
Over half of the population in Syria has been displaced since the beginning of the crisis, with some 6.5 million people displaced internally. Over 4 million people have fled the country. 1 million people sought safety in Europe in 2015. And according to estimates by the UN Refugee Agency, UNHCR, 1 in every 2 of those crossing the Mediterranean this year were Syrians. The number of people crossing increased steadily month by month, from around 5,500 in January to over 200,000 by October. And despite the difficult crossing, they were the lucky ones. More than 3,500 men, women and children died or went missing during the perilous journey across the sea. UNHCR launched an emergency response to help the refugees. Over 600 emergency staff and resources were deployed to 20 different locations this year, providing life-saving assistance and protection and advocating for human rights and access to asylum.